You have something to share with the world. You have a purpose, and the world needs to hear your voice. I want to give you 3 reasons today why you need to start creating right now in 2025 and stop consuming so much. First of all, you were designed to create. I believe that God planned you and made you and designed you with all of who you are, and knowing your entire story up till now, that you are not just meant to be a consumer. You're not just meant to be someone who takes in, but you're meant to be someone who gives out. A service-minded heart and a service-minded life also naturally outflows with the idea of being a creator, of being someone who will bring something into existence that never existed before. I know it's really weird to think of, but literally, until I hit the record button for this video never existed. I am creating something. I'm bringing something into existence that never was meant to be out there. And you have stories. You have lessons. You have victories. You have tears that need to be created, that need to be spoken into the world, that other people need to hear. Okay, so you are meant to create, and I believe if you're not creating, you're just not living up to the full potential of who you are supposed to be and who you can be in this year ahead. Secondly is this: you have ideas that the world needs to hear. Now, that doesn't mean that the world is going to agree with each and every one of your ideas. Believe me, it is far from that. In fact, I find for me, there's lots of my own ideas that sometimes I'm not even sure how much I agree with in the first place. But the world needs to hear the ideas. And there's 2 parts to this. One, your ideas, in order to be presented to the world, need to be better articulated than just the jumbled thoughts that are in your head. And by being a creator and with lots of practice, it starts to take the jumbled mess that is in your head, and then you start to figure out exactly how to communicate that with other people. The other side is when you communicate those things, your thoughts and your ideas get tested. You see, your feet need to be put to the fire. Your ideas need to be spoken into the world so they can be tested. Because all of a sudden, maybe you think something, maybe you believe something, maybe you have a core part of you that is wrapped up in something, and you realize when you speak it out into the world rejects that and says, no, that's not that. In fact, I found that a lot of my limiting behaviors and limiting beliefs have simply been because I internalized it, I kept it within me, and I never tested those thoughts or ideas against the world. And as soon as you test your thoughts and ideas against the world, you're going to find out a couple things. You're going to find out in some areas you're nowhere near as good. You're not nowhere near as well articulated, well spoken as you think of. And in other areas, you're going to find that your message is going to catch on with a core group a whole lot quicker than you thought it would. It's interesting. I've been building into this channel here for over a year now, and I still struggle sometimes to get views on this channel, but I started a new channel talking about some completely different topic where I didn't really see myself as having any form of authoritative voice, and yet some of those videos are taking off so much faster than anything that is happening on this channel. Why? Well, because I was willing to speak out and because I was willing to bring something into existence. And so what I'm finding is on this channel, where I have large hopes and dreams, I'm having to work extra hard to articulate things, ideas that are in my head. It takes a little while for me to figure out exactly how I want to speak it and who my audience is. But on my other channel, where I haven't really planned a bunch of things out and I thought my ideas are just kind of like, no one's going to notice it, all of a sudden that channel is getting traction very quickly. And it just goes to see that you don't know what is inside of you and how it's going to be received by the world until you're willing to take that step and start articulating. That doesn't mean I'm slowing down on this channel. It just means that I'm continuing to get better, focus on improving things one video at a time, and really narrowing down my focus and what my core message is and who my core audience is. And that's one of the great things about speaking things in creating things. The last thing, and I already alluded to this, but the last major important point that I want to make is this: you need to stop believing some of the lies that are what you're speaking on the internal. And when you become a creator, then lies can't stand being created. Okay, and what I mean is this: if you believe something and you throw something out there, it's either going to be confirmed as the truth, and therefore it's not a lie, and so then it's something that you can move on from there, or it will be confirmed as a lie. Because if you can start to see what other people have to say, what feedback you sort of get, you're going to realize that, oh my goodness, all of a sudden this thing that I believed, it's actually been a limiting factor. It's been holding me back. It's been a lie that I've been hanging on to. Or if what you think is a negative thing, but you speak it out and it is true, like, yeah, that really is that bad, well, then at least you have the stepping stones to start moving yourself forward in those areas. Okay. And then here's a bonus tip that I want to give for you for all of this, taking all this into consideration, which is simply this: when you do this, you will grow. It is impossible not to grow when you are a creator. When you start creating whatever it is, whether it be art, whether it be video, whether it be writing your own book, whether it just be reposting a Bible verse, whatever it happens to be, you will grow. Because every time you create, every time you put yourself into something, then all of a sudden it gets tested and you start to realize, like, oh, well, that was pretty good, but now what if I did this? What if I changed this by just a little bit? What if I made things just a little bit different? And so the key to growing is creating, okay? And on this channel, we talk about serve, learn, grow, adapt, right? But how are you going to do this? Well, the adapting is essentially the creating, right? You're creating a new version of yourself. And each and every day, I would encourage you to be encouraging, be creating something new with your life. That way you're adapting, and all of a sudden this new life that you want to grow into, that you want to vault yourself into, is growing. And by putting your thoughts, creating them, putting them on canvas, putting them on paper, putting them on video, you start to lay out this new life of really who you are, what you're all about. It gets tested. You hold your thoughts, you find out the truth of who you are, and your creative will vault you into someone that is so much greater than even who you already are today.